Well, hey guys, welcome to the Daily Bits. I'm glad you're here, glad you're stopping by. Sorry it's dark, I'm just getting off work, and I figured, hey, since I always record a video on my way home, I might as well do it now. But, you know, it is dark, so you're not going to see my beautiful face for the most part. I did want to talk about a current controversy that's going on in the YouTube space involving a channel called The Completionist. Now, I've been following The Completionist for over probably, a few years now, and they've been around for over a decade. The guy, his name's Gerard. He seems really cool. Like, all the content I've seen by him has been really good, well put together. There's a lot of money behind it, and he's been a part of different other channels like the Friends Per Second podcast. He was a part of G4 before G4 ultimately died. And he's been on quite a few other channels as well. And he's been a part of conventions and just a really big part of the gaming scene, especially on YouTube. The bad thing about this, what I want to talk about, is the charity that Gerard and his family created called Open Hands. I believe that's the full name of it. There could be more to it. If there is, just let me know in the comments. Recently, Gerard had to do an apology video. And you're probably, well, why? Why? Let's go back in time a little bit. Let's go back probably about a month ago, I believe, when this all came out. There's a channel called Some Ordinary Gamers, and I believe the other channel is called Carl Sparks, maybe. I could be wrong on that. Let me know in the comments. But they actually did some research on Gerard's The Completionist charity. And the charity is basically a charity for people that is battling dysentery. No, not dysentery. Dementia. Oh my God. Bad. I knew I was going to do that too. Dysentery. That's a felon. Anyways, dementia. I knew I was going to do that the whole damn time. I knew I was going to say dysentery. I'm like, fuck, do not say that. And I said it. It's dementia, which is, again, that's sad, right? Dementia is terrible. I don't know if any of you guys have experienced anybody battling dementia, but it's scary. It's sad just watching somebody you love, watching their mental state go completely away to the point where they don't even know who you are or where they're from. A good example is my grandma, when she was her final years, she had a stroke, and she was in the nursing home, and she had dementia. And I went to the nursing home and to visit her, and I said, hey, because she looked at me like she didn't know me. I said, hey, do you know who I am? And she shook her head no, and I had to walk out of the room, and I cried because it was just awful. And I believe my dad was going through dementia near the end of his life while he was battling cancer. So I do know quite a bit about dementia in terms of experience, but it's sad. It's sad. I'm sure you guys know exactly what I'm talking about. But anyways, the Open Hand charity has been gathering money for research purposes as well as to help families in need that are currently battling this kind of thing. And that's a good thing, right? The only bad thing is this thing's been going on for about a decade, and the money that's supposed to be spent for this cause never went out to anybody. Didn't go to anything. It just sat there in a bank, and it's also helped cover costs to run the organization. That's a bad thing. That's a bad thing because the fact that, the completionist was saying, hey, this money is being used to battle this thing or help these people, when the fact is the money wasn't going anywhere. And Some Ordinary Gamers, Moodhar, as well as Carl, did some research and made some videos about this, kind of showing, hey, there's definitely a problem with this, and it needs to be answered for. Well, that's a good thing. That's a good thing. People should know about where money's going, especially if it's for a good cause or if it's a charity. We've seen people in our community that's made money for people only to turn around and use that money for themselves. In this case, where there's no proof that the money was being used for them, for the the creators of the charity, but the fact is the money was not going where it was supposed to. And that led Gerard to actually be on some interviews with Mudahar and Carl when he said that the money, he was let known that the money has been sitting there back in 2021, which, you know, you would have thought, hey, it's 2023 now, there should be some benefactors to this money that you guys made for this cause, and there wasn't. Which, you know, it continued on until, I believe about a week ago, it comes out that the money was actually finally last week sent to a benefactor. And I believe it was for a research firm, but I'm not completely sure. But it took a push from the community to be like, hey, that's a problem. You lied to us. You told us money was going somewhere and it wasn't. And, you know, that does paint a pretty bad picture on Gerard and the completionists, as well as the Open Hand Foundation. You know, I like Gerard. I still think he's probably a good guy, but it did look fishy. Now, he did come out with an apology video a couple days ago that's really was not sincere at the slightest. It was well put together, but in a way that just seemed like it was been read off a prompter. It was factory made, like there was no heart to it. And on top of that, there was threats of lawsuits to the people that brought out the information that, hey, this is happening, which is a really bad look. Really bad look. Why would you sue somebody that pointed out, you know, that problem? You would think that, you know, as a creator or as somebody that's over such type of thing like a charity, that people coming giving you pressure on spending the money correctly, that wouldn't be a bad thing. But threatening lawsuits is really fucking terrible. And it does make me look at Gerard at a different light. Like, you're starting to see these scumbag content creators, like, just coming out of the woodwork. People you thought that was really awesome turn out to be absolute shitbags. Good example would have been Boogie2988 or the ukulele girl, you know, the one that made a song to apologize that was cringe as fuck. There's a lot of these creators coming out of the woodwork that just seem to be trashy people. And, you know, I want to think really good about people that's doing these things, and my favorite creators. I don't want to think bad things about them, but this isn't good. Like, Gerard, I know you're never going to see this video, but, you know, suing these two creators just because they found out that the money wasn't being spent correctly, that's terrible. That makes you look way worse than, you know, not spending the money. But I am glad at the end of the day that the money did end up going to a benefactor, which, like I said, it should have happened a long time ago. This should have been going, instead of going, you know, on press junkets like, or podcasts or conventions and stuff like that, saying the money was going somewhere and it turned out being wrong. Like, it's really frustrating. It really is. And I don't think this is going to do really good for the completionist as a content creator or his channel. He's already losing subscribers, and, you know, I think this is well earned, honestly. I think it's well earned. If you play shitty games, you're going to get shitty prizes, and this happens to be one of them. I wanted to let you guys know about this. I know I'm not the best at getting my words out. I'm sorry for saying dysentery when it was dementia. I recorded this 3 times, and each one of them I ended up saying dysentery. So, sorry about that. Guys, I love you very much, and I'll see you soon.